We've got breaking news just into our newsroom. An OU professor reportedly arrested by ICE last weekend at Will Rogers Airport. Vahid Abedini, who was a professor here at Farzana Hall, was reportedly arrested while on his way to a conference. This information coming to us from Joshua Landis, also a professor at Farzana Hall. Now, this is a developing story. We've reached out to OU. They have no comment. Stay with the Daily. We will, of course, keep you apprised.
Good morning, Owasso. This is the Twins with Owasso Live, and this is the Morning Loop. So, OU professor was detained by ICE, caught at the airport at Will Rogers. So, Chad knows a whole lot more about this than I do. I just know that I haven't done a whole lot of research into this. So, Chad, tell me, what the heck is going on here?
Okay, so basically what happened is this guy is here on an HB1, but a non-working HB1. So he is not an American citizen. He is not an American citizen.
But what do you mean it's a non-working HB1?
Okay, non-working meaning it's a special HB1 that allows him to be here, but he's not allowed to work job. Like I said, that's basically he's an advisor. That's why he's working at OU. He's being a teacher. It's considered an advisor situation from what it seems like to me. Yeah, I know. So if he is getting paid from the university, that seems a little strange, but I don't know. It's very weird.
Yeah, that is really weird. I mean, if it's a non-working visa and he's working, either they're paying for his housing, which is how they're getting past this thing, or they're paying him. Because how is he staying here? I mean, unless they're saying he's so rich or so wealthy Iranian that he can just afford to do this job for free, which, don't get me wrong, when you meet the Saudis and stuff, even the ones at TU, they're all sheiks' sons and princes. It makes sense that they're able to do whatever. They would buy truckloads of cars, literally, the trucks that bring the cars to the dealerships. They would buy truckloads of cars like that and then send them back home. So it makes sense that he could potentially do this. But what I'm saying is OU facilitating an HB1 professor, and paying him in backdoor channels? Is OU a facilitator of illegal working? You know what I mean?
It could be. But I have the article pulled up right here so we can read more into it. Okay. So, legal experts are raising red flags over the federal immigration agent detained at an OU professor for multiple days, despite having a valid work visa, with federal officials declining to explain why he was taken into custody.
Hold on. So are they wrong or are you wrong?
Pretty sure they're wrong. So we'll read more into it here in a second. The U.S. Department of Homeland Security told that the News 4 why its agents detained a professor, Vahid Abedini, at OKC Will Rogers International Airport on Saturday, only stating that he was detained for standard questioning. Abedini, who teaches Iranian studies at OU's College of International Studies, was preparing to board a plane to Washington, D.C. to attend a work conference. Agents took him into custody at the airport, transferring him to the Logan County Jail, and later moved him to an ICE detention facility where he remained for 2 days before being released Monday night. That's not typical for routine questioning in any setting, legal expert Tim Glippen said. But there's nothing normal about detaining somebody to deport. So, you have to detain them for questioning. And two, this guy is Iranian. Remember, we just got done bombing Iran not a few months ago. So, if he's posting a whole, like I said, we don't know. I was trying to find social media posts by this guy, but everything's been tainted by the search. Because everything that comes up when you look for this guy ends up being OU professor arrested, OU professor arrested, OU professor, and that's all it's populating. You can't find anything about this guy's social media. If he was posting anything pro-Hamas, pro-Palestinian, or anything like that, this guy is not an American citizen. So he can be deported like that. That's the thing. A work visa can be taken away from you like that.
I mean, it should be allowed to be taken away from you.
Exactly. So, getting back to it, Glippen said that there's nothing about Abedini's detention that appears routine. Usually, a routine questioning, they will take and contact the individual by telephone or letter. That is not true. If he is here illegally, they're not going to do that. Oh, hello, sir. Would you please let us arrest you?
Thanks for the call. You'll never find me.
Exactly. A letter say, we need to make an appointment for you to come answer some questions, Gilpin said. An appointment would be made, and they would show up at the immigration's office, and they'd be taking care of the information. Unless, of course, they're actually illegal. This is why they do it this way. This is why they're just going and arresting people. Because if you tell somebody, hey, we have some questions about your immigration status, and they are illegal, what are they going to do?
Yeah, they're going to take off. You've alerted the people you're attempting to arrest or find out their legal status that you're on the hunt for them, and they're going to be like, now you'll never find me. Mm-hmm. Again, this is what's so dumb. It's like we're playing a game. We're playing a game of hide and seek or tag, and the left is going. You have to get your. We are peaking a whole lot on these mics. You might.
Oh, we are
just a bit.
Okay,
yeah.
I'll pull them back.
But the left is basically saying you have to give them a head start. Like, what are you talking about? Like, we're trying to catch and deport these people. We're not trying to give them a head start. We're not trying to give them an unfair advantage. We're trying to make sure our officer had, like, again, yesterday when we were running to the gym on Friday morning, what happened? We were running by the apartments over there in Three Lakes, and then there was 2 police cars blocking the parking lot to that apartment, and then we kept running, and up by the bank,
There was a SWAT team.
There was a SWAT team getting ready to go, pulling out their rifles. Like, you think they're going to knock on the right? So we have a warrant for your arrest, sir. It's like, no, if they have enough information to go in and get after somebody, they're going to go in and get after them. They're not going to warn them that they're coming.
For all we know, that they did do a standard knock, but that the SWAT team there was there as backup in case they're like, we ain't coming, and they know, and if they know that they're armed or something like that, yeah, that's what the SWAT team's for. Mm-hmm. So, regardless, we'll keep reading on here. I forgot kind of where I was. Okay. But it would be surprise detained at the airport.
Camera.
Oh, sorry, yeah. Usually made by blah, 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 blah. Okay, here we go. But to be surprised detained at the airport if you are about to leave for a professional conference is unusual. It just sounds like something that none of us are really used to in this country. Abdini,
stop. Retarded framing right there.
Yeah.
Of course, it's not. If you're not an illegal, you would not be used to it. No one would be used to it unless you're committing a crime. Yeah. No one's used to getting arrested unless you're committing a crime.
Yeah. Abdini is originally from Iran and has lived in the United States for years, earning a graduate degree from the from Florida University, teaching at the University of Arkansas, and joining OU earlier this year. He is on a valid H-1B visa. But again, I have more articles pulled up that say that it's like a temporary thing. Again, it caps out at 6 years, and if he's already got a degree from Florida and he's already worked at the University of Arkansas, it stands to reason that this HB1 visa is coming up on an expiration date.
He doesn't look like a young man either.
Yeah, he's not. Let me see here. Despite the visa for someone with special knowledge or ability that business, corporations, in this case a university, hires them, Gilpin said. The kind of visa does not have more restrictions on, say, a citizen, but they also have some of the same rights. Exactly. So there goes again. You don't have the same rights as a citizen. You don't. It's a visa. It can be taken away. If they find out that you're doing like illicit things, do you think they're gonna be like, you can stay,
yeah, well,
it's fine?
It's no different than that guy that from Africa that they found that forged all of his credentials and was making like a $300,000 a year salary. He was the Iowa State superintendent.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. I forgot where I was at. You keep interrupting me.
Sorry,
I forget where I'm at. Some special knowledge, blah blah blah.
I like to hear myself talk.
I know you do. The kind of visa does not more restrictions on citizens. Blah blah. I have to pick them up randomly at an airport and be, I guess, disappeared for 3 days or so. I guess doesn't feel or sound good. Yeah, it doesn't feel or sound good. This guy's not a citizen. He can be detained by ICE, Immigrations Customs Enforcement. This is their job. If you are not an American citizen, they can be like, hey, we want to check you out. And again, if he's making like social media posts that are going against, that are pro-Iran when we were bombing them or whatever, you can quite literally be like, hey, we're going to get rid of you.
We got a foreign national here benefiting off the American taxpayer dollars that's actively against our country. Mm-hmm. He's taking a job. I mean, I could go learn some history and I could become the Middle Eastern Studies professor at OU.
Yeah.
Why not give that job to an American? Oh, we want to have OU. We want to have foreign diplomats who really understand the culture over there. It's like, I guarantee you could ask one of our veterans to teach that Middle Eastern class. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, yeah, we got a lot of their culture while we were over there.
Yeah.
I understand it better than that professor does.
It's what Douglas Murray said. You learn more from the lowest of someone's culture than you do from the highest. You want to know what their culture is really like, you
Don't go hang out with the
Mm-hmm.
sheiks and princes. Don't hang out with them. Like, you'll get to see the high life with them. Go hang out with the dregs of society. You'll see what it looks like. Yeah.
What's his name? Conan did whenever he posted that picture. Whenever he was
Haiti's
in,
not a crap hole. Now they're in a civil war and a cannibal runs the country.
You're at the security guarded, protected 5-star hotel. You don't learn what it's like to be in that country from the vacation resort hotel where they only bring in the very refined and American-speaking people.
Yeah.
Or I should say English-speaking people.
Yeah.
But you need to go out there on the street and be like, oh, if you walk out on the street without security, Conan, and you get robbed or beaten up, they're going to be like, I don't think I like Haiti as much anymore.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. Again, it's this fantasy world that the left lives in where it's like, again, all cultures are equal. The minute you step off the plane, you become assimilated, and it just works. Everything just works just fine.
Yep. All right. According to the New York Times, this is not the first time international scholars with HB1 visas have been detained since the Trump administration began cracking down on immigration this year. I would probably argue it's not the first time during any presidency that someone who has an HB1 has been detained.
Yeah. It's just now it's in the news. Again, they never, like, Barack Obama was the deporter-in-chief. He deported 3 million illegals. But you never heard about it because it wasn't a campaign issue.
Yeah, it wasn't the media. The media wasn't trying to destroy his reputation because the right-wing media liked that he was deporting people, and the left-wing media was covering for him like, we don't want to bring attention
we don't care
to
because
this.
that's not a hot-button issue for us in this time. Same goes for the fact that nobody reported on the fact that Barack Obama bombed an American citizen in Yemen. No one cares about that. Nobody. I mean, if Trump had killed an American citizen in a country, drone striked an American citizen in a country we are not at war with, this would be headline news. They would say this is a constitutional crisis. You know, like it is absolutely ridiculous. The lack of standard. Like, again, the media does not hold Democrat presidents up to any standard. Bill Clinton got a BJ in the White House. Everyone's like, oh, that's fine. We don't care about his sex life. It's like, well, we sure do care about Trump's. I mean, he's a rapist, you know?
Like, oh, he cheated on his wife. It's like, so did Bill Clinton. If you're going to hold Trump to this standard, you need to hold Bill Clinton to this standard.
Bring back decency to the White House. You know, get wrecked.
Times reported that Georgetown University, a researcher from India, and Tufts University graduated from Turkey, where they were detained in spring, but later released following legal challenges. I think the message being sent is fear, Gilpin said. They want to instill a sense of fear in people who are on a lawful immigration status, that they need to be careful with what they say, careful with who they associate with, and that they are being watched and can be picked up at any time, even random places like an airport.
Good.
Yeah, exactly. I'm full agreement with that. They need to be, especially if they are pro-Islamic, pro-terrorist, like supporting...
Again, we don't know what this guy's political proclivities are. But again, there's no way this guy's only been here for 6 years, unless you're saying he, as like a 40-year-old man, just graduated Florida University. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I mean, and I guess, they could age very differently in the Middle East. Maybe he's like 20 years old, and he just looks like a 40-year-old man. You know, there's a couple of kids like that at TU. You know, it's like, are you sure you're actually a student here?
Mm-hmm. I think associated with being watched period of any time he ran places like airport, blah, 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 blah. There we go. News 4 reached out to Abdini's attorney for comment, but we have not heard back yet. Abdini posted a statement on his personal LinkedIn page after the release saying in
LinkedIn.
part... Yeah.
That's how you know this guy's definitely not a teenager. Like, let me make my LinkedIn post. Like, dude, you got to be in your 40s if you're using LinkedIn.
Yeah, it was deeply distressing experience, especially seeing those without a support I had. My sincerest thanks to the friends and colleagues at the University of Oklahoma, the Middle Eastern Studies Association, and the wider Iranian Studies and Political Science community for helping me resolve this. Yeah, boo.
Yeah, bring up your other articles now. I want to hear about this. Whether or not these people, whoever wrote this article, is lying, or whether or not you are incorrect about this.
Okay. This is from Turning Point USA OU. Iranian studies professor was detained by ICE over issues with his HB1 visa. University of Oklahoma professor Vahid Abdini has been detained at Will Rogers Airport and is currently being held in Logan County Jail. Swipe for more information. Oh, I need to shrink this a hair. Whoops. There we go. Switch. Yeah, as you can see right there. As of late Monday, Valdini on his online detainee locator saying that he was in ICE custody and giving his birthplace of Iran. Abdini and his Iranian studies professor at the University of Oklahoma. The professor allegedly holds a HB1 visa, a non-immigrant work visa granted to individuals in specific specialty occupations. A non-immigrant working visa. A non-immigrant working visa.
Non-immigrant work visa. No. It's a non-immigrant. So he's not an immigrant here, but it's a work visa.
A non-immigrant
you
work
misunderstood
visa. Okay,
that.
yeah, I'm sorry. That's
So he's not an immigrant. He doesn't plan on making this his home, but it's a work visa.
Mm-hmm. Yes, but regardless there we go. Individuals holding specialty occupations, including higher education faculty. It has a shelf life of 3 years and is capped at 6 years after extension. We at Turning Point OU believe that nobody is above the law, even if that includes professors at the university. We are proud of the work ICE is doing, and ICE has every right to ensure that everybody is following the law legally here.
Yep. Again, this is just PR. ICE doing this is a good thing. Professors who are on temporary work visas should be nervous. That, like I said, if they're all this is doing is giving these people oh, I'm not welcome to stay here after my visa's done. So if this guy was detained because they were trying to make sure that he wasn't overstaying his visa, maybe somebody filed some paper. Again, it's government work, for God's sakes. What if somebody filed incorrect paperwork? It's actually, I have 1 more year left on my visa. And then they looked and they said, oh, yeah, this date was wrong on this document. That might have been why they were detaining him, because somebody in the government, which is possible, rubber stamp something incorrectly. Maybe this guy has a couple years left. Maybe he doesn't. Either way, it's not. People are making this like a giant deal when it's really not that big of a deal.
Yeah. Which brings me to the next story, which is OU related. University of Oklahoma student Samantha Fulnecki was failed by her transgender professor Mel Kurth for quoting scripture in an opinion-based essay on gender roles. According to the Professor Kurth, her use of the Bible was offensive, and it seems everyone is entitled to their opinion, just not on a biblical one. We stand with you, Samantha. This article was very very thought-provoking, and caused me to thoroughly evaluate the idea of gender roles as it plays in our society. This article discussed peers using the teasing as a way of enforcing gender norms. I do not necessarily see this as a problem. God made male and female and made us very differently from each other on purpose and for purpose. God is not intentional with what he makes, and
God is intentional.
Yeah, I'm sorry, is very intentional in what he makes. I believe that he's trying to change that would only do more harm. Gender roles and tendencies should not be considered stereotypes. Women naturally want to do womanly things because of God created us with those womanly desires in our hearts. The same goes for men. God created men in the image of his courage and strength, and he created women in the image of his beauty. He intentionally created women differently from men, and we should live our lives with that in mind.
Based?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, extremely based. It is frustrating to me when I read articles like this in discussions post of my class, and so many people are trying to conform to the same mundane opinion, so they do not step on people's toes. I think that it is cowardly and insincere to live that way. It is important to use the freedom of speech when we have been given in this country, and I personally believe that the Eliminating of gender in our society would be detrimental as it pulls us further from God's original plan for humans. It's perfectly normal for kids to follow gender stereotypes because of how that is how God made us. The reason so many girls want to feel womanly and care for others is in a motherly way is not because they feel pressure to fit into social norms. It is because God created them and chose them to reflect his beauty and his compassion in that way. In Genesis, God said that it is not good for a man to live alone. So he created a helper, which is woman, made people assume the word helper in this context would be condescending and offensive to women. However, the original word in Hebrew is ezer kinkodu, and directly translates to helper equal to. Additionally, God describes himself in the Bible using ezer kinegodu, I don't know how to say these words, or helper, and describes his Holy Spirit as our helper as well. This shows that the importance of God places on the role of helper of women's roles. God does not view women as less significant than men. He created us with such intentionally and care. He made women in his image of being a helper and in the image of his beauty. Good Lord, this goes. How did she post the whole thing?
It looks like it.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, we won't read the whole thing. But
Look here. We are made in God's image, blessed with divine purpose, Chad.
Blessed with divine purpose. Said that's why aliens are heretics. Yes, I said Warhammer 40K.
Yeah.
For the Emperor.
Yeah, dude, but I mean, seriously, this is what happens when you put social justice, LGBTQ, trans activists in positions of power. That's a well-written and well-cited argument that she just put out. And then the professor, or whoever's in charge of that, just goes,
here they
no,
are.
Yeah.
You want to see what
and
they
then the
look
professor
like.
just goes, nuh-uh, fail. You know what I mean? Again, how pathetic is that? This professor is so weak-minded that whenever someone presents a study, it's like, you didn't cite real sources, you cite biblical sources. That's stupid. You know, you're just like all those dumb, ignorant questions. Like, Chad read that. That is a well-written, well-sourced, well-cited essay.
Yeah.
Response. That is perfectly fine. I'm guessing the only reason, like, this trans, look at this beautiful trans professor here. You know, it's like just rubber stamped, like, fail. She's, again, because she represents everything that this person hates. A beautiful young Christian girl who's well-read and understands what she's standing for, and she goes, nuh-uh, what do you mean I can't indoctrinate this girl into believing exactly the way I believe? And I have the power. I have the arbitrary power to fail this girl. Boom, fail. This is why English is a joke in college. It's a joke. Like, I'm failing you for this reason, because you're a hateful, intolerant bigot. No bigots pass my class. This is what college education is turning into.
Yes.
English studies is a joke.
Yep. But regardless, that's what's going on right now. And so this is what we talk about. This is how the left is indoctrinating your kids. It is in the universities. Like, the universities are not a safe place. There's a reason why you send your kid. What is that thing? He said, you send your kids to Rome, and then you are.
Vody Bachman once said, if you send your kids to Rome, don't be surprised when they return as Romans.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly what's going on here. Don't be surprised when you send your kid off to the communist indoctrination universities and they come back, blue-haired feminist communists.
Yeah, I mean, our little sister is still at OU right now, and whenever all of her entry classes, all of her papers that she had to write were some form of social justice propaganda was forced into the paper.
Yeah. And it's in those. This is why the general study stuff, in my opinion, is retarded. Why do I have to take a class that I don't need for my major to balance myself out?
Yeah.
What is the point? That is to literally give those professors that are there with what is it called, tenure?
Yeah.
They get their tenure. That you're literally just paying their bills.
But I mean, what's stupid is this is all the required stuff. It's like Comp 1. Like, you remember Comp 1 whenever we went to college. Comp 1 is to teach you how to write scholarly collegiate essays.
And then what did they teach you day one? Everything you learned in high school was wrong.
Yeah, but what's even sillier, too, is this is where they cram in those social justice topics. You'll be like, write your essay on why climate change is important. Write your essay on why white nationalism is bad. This is where they'll cram those subjects in. This is where we had to help our sister write papers. She's like we told our sister, you should just write the opposite. But she was like, no, I just want to pass my courses and get out of here. So we would help her write these essays. So she literally, she would call us. We'd be on the phone with her, be like, "This is what you need to say if you want your professor to think that you're smart." So we would tell again. This is why the right understands the left's positions, because we are forced to engage with it when they are not forced to engage with. This professor here, this little trans professor, is living proof. I don't have to engage with the right's ideas. I can just call you a bigot and fail you. I have the power to do that over all these students.
Yeah. This is the thing. They come in, they take over the universities, they take over businesses, and they become the HR. They are the HR department folks. They are the professors that tell you that you can't
And what did Nikki's little graduate student professors tell her whenever she came in and wrote her papers? What would they say? You have a really good understanding of what you're talking about, because me and Chad would help her write her papers. You'd be like, you really understand this stuff. And it's like, and our sister would be like, yeah. And you go, how do you understand this stuff? Well, I asked my brothers for their opinions, like not letting them know that like my brothers are diametrically opposed to your worldview.
I am. We are completely opposed to everything that they
if I could, I would have sat in that class with my sister and be like, you're retarded.
No.
You are a retard, Professor so-and-so, do you?
Mm-hmm. I said, it's sad that, because when you're a kid and all you're thinking is you don't want to let your parents down, you don't want to do all this stuff, and you're just like, I just want to graduate and go to my dream job, and you don't want to do anything to jeopardize that, which now that we're out, we're just like, man,
none of that matters. None of it matters. Like, I would have preferred Mar's sister to do what this girl did. But again, she's trying to become valedictorian. She's trying to get into dental school. If she has bad grades, it's going to be harder for her to get into dental school. Mm-hmm. And that's what the left wants. They want you to get along, go along, make crappy grades, and then, they can arbitrarily dictate that you make crappy grades. But if you don't stand up or talk out against it, you just go with the flow just so you can get out of there. I mean, again, you won't graduate brainwashed, but you will have basically been, what's the word? You have been complicit in the system that continues this type of indoctrination.
Correct.
In Comp 1. Again, why can't Comp 1 be like, do an essay about Mozart? That would be fine. But no, they say, do an essay about social justice. Do an essay about climate change. Do an essay about why whiteness is bad. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what this is about. This is the power. This is the arbitrary power that these idiots, these idiot LGBTQ left-wing activists that are everywhere in the colleges now. And again, it's like my wife. She'd be like, I didn't really see much of that when I was there. Either I was like, either you weren't looking for it, or you went the route like nursing. Like nursing, you're not going to see that in the nursing route.
Yeah. Yeah. You're not going to see that stuff in the professions that. It goes to the professions that doesn't really much, which is why you always see it's the same thing. It's like it's in
the arts
drama,
and sciences.
It's in the arts. Yes, correct. It's in the arts and sciences.
It's in writing. It's in liberal education.
Mm-hmm. It's anything that can be subjective.
Yes,
that's where they attack you first, because if it's subjective,
it's open to interpretation.
Exactly, it's open to interpretation.
But then how is this girl who wrote this paper wrong? It's open to interpretation, right?
Yeah, it's subjective.
Well, not if your teacher's a trans person. Not open to interpretation then. Science is on the trans teacher's side, not on that biblical Christian side. Mm-hmm. What a fool you are to think that you could challenge my authority in this classroom.
Mm-hmm. Which brings me to the next one that we have pulled up is here's Cam Higbee at OU. It looks like he was there on, from when I see this post, I think this was like October 29th.
Okay.
So check this out. And this is, again, how indoctrinated we are that why, again, this is like our Vietnam is like the Gaza, what's going on in Gaza right now is our Vietnam, which we're not even involved in, besides like Israel being our ally that we sometimes fund. Yeah. But this is what we're coming to is like, why are we defending our enemy? Like, these people hate America. Mm-hmm. They cheered during 9/11. You're like, oh, well, it wasn't the younger ones. And I was like, yes, but their parents raised them to be just like them. And this is what he's arguing. He's like, this lady or this little girl right here is arguing, the children, we need to spare the children. Is like, if the children are being raised with the same parents and the same
The same level
ideology,
of
they are
yeah.
not savable.
Yeah, the same level of indoctrination.
Mm-hmm. Like, remember, that's what he talks about here. He's like, they put on plays with their 3 to 6 year old children of them killing Jews and Americans. It doesn't matter. Jews, Christians, they hate anybody that is not Islamic.
Again, it comes down to that social experiment you did with your teacher in that National Guard teacher that you had. He was like, draw a picture of what you think of when you see think of a Middle Eastern person, and everyone drew like a bearded guy wearing a turban
with an AK-47 or like with an
AK-47.
explosive vest on his chest.
And then whenever they do the same experiment in
They
the
go,
Middle East,
draw
they
an
said draw an
average
average American. They draw the devil. They draw Satan because America is Satan. Anybody who's affiliated with America is Satan.
yes.
That's what they
the
draw.
issue.
That's the level of indoctrination that these people have. Again, it's like what we talked about. These people are so low IQ. Like, they're marrying their first cousins. They're all super low IQ.
It said average IQ is 70 in any Middle Eastern country. 70. That's considered
functionally
mentally
retarded.
retarded here in the United States and anywhere else in the Western world. So they couldn't even join the army at that level anymore.
Yeah. I mean, everyone wonders, like, you see, like, look up the videos of the U.S. soldiers training the Afghan army. They can't even do jumping jacks.
Yes.
They can't even do jumping jacks.
I might try to pull that up while we're
Yeah.
doing this, but check this out with Cam Higbee arguing with this kid's like, when you know that we're in trouble when you are defending our enemies. When the left and when these college students are defending our enemies, it's the same thing that happened in Vietnam. When you're defending our enemies, we've got issues.
The kids in Gaza, maybe they should have a place to go. Maybe they should.
Not here, that's for sure.
Why? Why? Why don't you want them here?
Because they're brainwashed
The
Islamic
kids,
terrorists.
the 3-year-old kids.
Yes, I have been to Gaza. Have you
Oh
ever
my
been to
God!
Gaza?
Have you met a 3-year-old kid from Gaza?
Yes, and I've seen the books they read. The books they read
They
are.
can't even fucking read at 3 years old.
That's why they're picture books. And you know what the pictures are? I'll show you. They're pictures of people
Show me.
strangling Jewish people.
But they're 3
Yeah,
years old.
I'll show
They
you.
can change their mind.
They're 3 years
No,
fucking old.
no. The ages 1 to 5 are the most crucial ages in your development.
Okay, well you have 2 more years where you
They're not coming here.
This is why, again, if you want to pause it real quick, this is why I don't. This is why there is an argument to be made that females should not have the right to vote. Now, I'm not saying you can't. I'm not saying that we're going to repeal the 19th Amendment. What I'm saying is women are very, very empathetic. They vote with their emotions. And if you take away the right to vote from women, a Democrat will never win an election again.
Yes, the Democrats would have never won. They've done that. They've done those surveys. Like, Democrats would have not run any election since like the 80s. Since women earned the right to vote.
But this girl arguing Cam Higbee has the right to vote. She votes in elections. She voted. I guarantee you she would vote for Joe Biden. I guarantee you she would vote for Kamala Harris. She doesn't know what she's talking about. She just goes, think. Again, it's literally, think of the children. It's like, again, this is why back in the Old Testament, God said these people are unsavable. Like, this culture is so corrupted by evil thoughts that they must be wiped from the face of the earth.
Yep.
Again, I'm not saying that we have that right to do that. I'm not saying we should just thermonuke the entire Middle East. What I'm saying is we should definitely be cautious about who we let in.
Yep.
Because vengeance is the Lord's. It is not ours. But again, that doesn't mean we have to be stupid with toxic empathy. Sorry, you can continue now.
No, I mean, that's pretty much it. Like I said, he just goes over it. He pulls up pictures on the phone, and he shows her. But we can't see it, of course, because, he's being
He's showing
recorded.
her, yeah, obviously.
So there's really not much more to this. But she just keeps, like, arguing. He's like, but they're children. But they're children. It's like,
Yep.
yes, but if they're being raised by parents that are indoctrinating them to be just like them, they're not savable. This is what we keep trying to say. Is like, if you're raised from day one to hate Israel with all your heart and soul, to hate America with all your heart and soul, and then what do you think's gonna happen when you bring them over to your country? Like, I have been raised since I was 3 years old to hate America. What do you think they're gonna do when they get here? There's a reason why you're seeing the guy that had killed our National Guardsman, which brings me to the next story that I have pulled up here. Where did it go? I'm sorry. I've got a lot more than I was planning on having on this. There we go. Here it is. Let me refresh this, and we'll get this one going.
Well, this just in, we have a Fox News alert from Brooke Taylor. You won't believe this. DHS is confirming that an Afghan national was arrested Tuesday after posting a video of himself on TikTok indicating he was building a bomb with an intended target of the Fort Worth area. Mohammed Dawood Al-Okazai is charged at the state level with making a terroristic threat. According to DHS, listen to this. He came to the United States as part of Operation Allies Welcome.
Which is exactly where the other guy came from.
Yep. I mean, all you have to claim is that you one time helped American forces. You have the receipt that you drove a truck and delivered like supplies to one of the forward operating bases or the big base itself, and you had clearance to get on the base. What does that mean at the end of the day? It means that they could have been again. It's like if you watch 13 Hours in Benghazi, it's like going, there's a couple of guys that work for us, a couple of these civilian contractors who are locals that we trust, but there's some that we keep our eye on. But again, the Biden administration just said, nope, if you helped us, you get to come here. Congratulations. How crazy is that?
Mm-hmm. It's absolutely insane. Let's see if there's anything more to this.
So here you have it. This happened Tuesday. Texas Department of Public Safety. This is a second Afghan national, second one this week. Operation Allies Welcome. He had a terror plot. We know it comes the same week that deranged individual, that alleged assassin, took out two of our heroic National Guard, came here on the same program, Operation Allies Welcome, a program that we were assured time and time again by Mayorkas, by Jen Psaki, by Joe Biden himself was safe and secure. But here we have a second data point in 1 week that it was not safe, it was not secure. And we've got to look very hard at this program as President Trump is vowing to make change. Well, this just
For them all.
Yeah. Which just brings it. It's like, this is what they talk about, is like the first group of immigrants that come from Islamic countries are nice and kind. The second group is where their imams come over and their imams start preaching
radicalization.
Radicalization, because they're like, hey, you're interspersing and you're interbreeding with these people. That's not okay in our religion.
Yep.
You need to start getting
return to fundamentalism.
Mm-hmm. And this is what happens. It's like, so these people helped America. They come to America, live in America. Their imams
and again, helped is a relative term. They could have been a truck driver and brought bases. They could have walked around the gate and interpreted for something. Again, they were just doing it because it was the best job that they could get.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that they're allies, or it doesn't mean they're our friends. They allied themselves out of necessity or out of want for money. And then they took advantage of this program. It's like, I one time drove a truck on your base. Yeah. I helped you. Yeah. Oh, sweet. Welcome to America.
Yeah. They're suffering, and if you want to argue that it's not them trying to like do this, which again, I still think it's their imams radicalizing them, telling them, you worked with the infidels, you helped the infidels, this is the only way that you can atone and repent for your sins for helping the infidels. But even if you don't want to go there, let's go with the genuine argument that, oh, they're actually just suffering from PTSD, from loneliness, whatever, because they're former...
From the fact that they're only qualified to be McDonald's workers.
Exactly. They're sold just like any other American soldier veteran. Let's say that they were like American soldier veterans, but at least American soldier veterans have the decency to off themselves and only themselves.
Yep.
They literally said the highest suicide rates among anybody is American veterans. What are these guys doing? They're going and attacking and killing other people. Which goes to show you that there's a difference between an American veteran and a foreign Afghan veteran. It's like, I'm going to take other people out when I go, and American veterans is like, there's no point in it's literally it's depression. They go on whatever PTSD they may be suffering, which is still terrible. But I just can't live anymore. I'm going to take myself out so that I don't make.
It comes down to exactly what I told you yesterday. The left tells us constantly the American dream is dead. If the American dream is dead, why are we importing people that can barely speak English that can't attain the American dream for themselves either?
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Speaking of which, I have something on that too. But
really?
Real quick, well, just before we change topics here, this guy right here, this is from Eric Daughtery. I am seriously betting that our crime stats nationwide are ridiculously skewed against white people. They listed the Afghan would-be Texas car bomber as white. Which this is exactly what happened in Britain, except remember, they're labeling all Middle Eastern men
as Asian.
They're not listing them as white. They're listing them as Asian.
Again, and that's a racist against Asians. Like, Asians are specifically Orientals, not Middle Eastern. Mm-hmm. Like, that's ridiculous. That'd be like saying that's incriminating my wife. Watch out for those Asian grooming gangs. Like, are you kidding me right now?
Yep.
Like, Asians come over here and they start and open businesses.
Yep.
And they become productive members of society.
Says right.
These guys don't.
Here it is. Tannerite County, Texas. Alawazake Muhammad, race white, sex male.
This is such BS, man.
Yeah.
It's so stupid.
Absolutely.
That should infuriate. If you're on the left, that should infuriate you too, because again, that's lying. But again, it makes your stats look good. It's like, well, white people are the majority of people who commit crimes in this country, so it's okay.
Brooke Taylor reports live in Dallas. Hi, Brooke.
Hi, Julie. There has been a big fight here in Texas between Governor Greg Abbott and the Muslim community after he designated the largest Muslim advocacy group as a foreign terrorist organization.
Good.
So in North Texas, a Muslim community leader, Marwan Maroof here, is soon going to be deported. He's been in ICE custody since September, and then just last week, an immigration judge issued him a final order of removal. Now, according to DHS, Maroof is from Jordan and overstayed his visa. They shared, quote, Maroof was denied a lawful permanent resident visa due to his involvement with a foundation that provided material support for Hamas, a designated foreign terrorist organization. The Council of American Islamic Relations, known as CARE, has been fighting for Maroof's release, describing him as a pillar of the community. Well, Texas Governor Greg Abbott responded to this on X. He said, quote, this is another example of CARE Texas's support for Hamas and terror. Abbott designated the Muslim Brotherhood and CARE as foreign terrorist organizations earlier this month. He said, quote, the Muslim Brotherhood and CARE have long made their goals clear: to forcibly impose Sharia law and establish Islam's mastership of the world. The actions taken by the Muslim Brotherhood and CARE to support terrorism across the globe and subvert our laws through violence, intimidation, and harassment are unacceptable. CARE Texas fired back with a lawsuit against Abbott, and community leaders together held a press conference urging him to retract his proclamation, calling it defamatory and dangerous.
This designation is unconstitutional, unsupported by any credible factual basis.
I'd just like to point out that these are the people who are trying to abolish the Constitution and replace it with Sharia law. So they cite this is what they say. They cite the Constitution when it benefits them, but the moment that it doesn't, they will uncite it.
Yep.
So you can't play it both ways. But this is what evil people do. They play it both ways. They play by your rules, and then when it doesn't benefit them, they flip the chessboard over and go, oh, this isn't fair, it's just racist, or whatever else.
Yes, they will use our freedoms against us to destroy our nation. Mm-hmm. That's what they're doing.
And represents bigotry on its face. It stigmatizes an entire community and chills the First Amendment rights of Muslim Texans and all organizations engaged in lawful advocacy.
And CARE has been accused of funneling millions of dollars to Hamas, something that the group denies. Meanwhile, since 2008, the FBI has entirely cut ties with the group because of their alleged links to Hamas. Julie.
Boom.
Taylor.
Boom. Yeah, you can't. If you're funneling money to terrorist organizations, you're done. I mean, this immediately that thing should immediately lose all of its status here in the United States.
Yeah.
It should be dissolved.
Any Muslim candidates who are funded by CARE, that money should be that money and those assets should be frozen and sent to, and taken by the American government and then used to pay off the national debt or something.
Yeah.
They should freeze those accounts.
Yep. Which brings me to this next one, is like what you're talking about, is like they can't speak English. Here is Nick Shirley interviewing a bunch of Somalians in Dearborn.
Yep. No, that's Minnesota.
Minnesota. But they can't even speak English. None of them speak English. Check this out.
What's it like being a Muslim here in the United States?
I'm not speaking English, only one Somali language.
What does it mean to you to be a part of Islam?
I don't know, I'm not speaking English very well.
How are you? Do any of you speak English? English? No. Can women speak on camera? No. I kept going because I wanted to speak with some more of the elders here to see if they could share their story about coming here from Somalia and how they've seen the rise firsthand. However, none of them spoke English. How are you? Can I ask any of you guys some questions? No? Speak English?
English no.
No? Do any of you speak English? After a few interviews, somebody came up to us angry because we were asking people about the rise of Islam inside this community. My name is Dick Shirley.
What are you doing?
My name is Dick Shirley. I'm a YouTuber. We're doing a video on the rise of Islam here in the United States.
The rise of Islam?
Yeah, it's the #1 converting religion.
The rise of Islam. Make it make sense for me.
Yeah, it's the #1 it's the #1 converting religion in the United States, so we're doing a top subject on it.
Oh, the #1 converting religion in the United States.
It's like the #1 growing religion. So.
Wait, isn't it after Christ?
What?
Isn't it after Christ?
This guy wouldn't show his face on camera, and this conversation kept going for a few minutes, and he demanded that we deleted the footage of the interviews that we took here on the street. I said no, and he said, you better go, and we're going to make sure you
Kind of sounds like a Sharia patrol.
Yeah.
leave. I've never been in a situation like that while I've been filming, where somebody comes out of nowhere and wants to take the footage. I was watching a video prior to this video, and there is a Somali gang war going on here inside of these apartment complexes, apparently. I think we just went upon a gang, and I didn't know that they were a gang. And right now, he said, you better leave, and we're gonna make sure you get out of here. So right now, there is somebody following from behind, making sure that we get out of this place. Not the most friendly welcome here into this part of Minnesota. What's
I'm
it
gonna
like being a
bet that all
Muslim?
those people are probably on some form of government assistance too.
Guaranteed. It's like they're here, they're on government assistance. It's like what we said. The best tactic that would solve this situation is if you have 2 years to get off of any type of welfare benefits as an immigrant. If you don't, you're deported right back to your country.
Sorry, you're not a net benefit to this country. You gotta go.
Mm-hmm. Which brings you to this next one. Still Nick Shirley again. And remember how they were burning the Quran and all that stuff there at the Dearborn event?
Mm-hmm.
Here's this guy saying that he would have murdered him if he would have saw him doing it. And he's just openly talking about it.
You're ready to brawl with
I had
anybody.
my gun. I was gonna blast if I didn't see the cops. I swear to God. That's it.
That's an
That's it.
Americanized
I don't
one
care.
too.
To me, I don't care. My life, I don't give a. Let somebody blast me. I don't give a.
Just because of the burning of the Quran, the attempted
I'll
burning.
that motherfucker's life up and his family. That's it. It's on camera. I will that motherfucker's life up. Let him come to me face to face. I'll kill him. On my mother's
Definitely an
soul.
American-born Muslim
That's
right
it.
here.
You kill him.
I'll kill him. Murder.
Arrest
You
him.
just saw them come out. One guy even said he'd be down to murder. He would murder another man.
We all got arrest him. Do your job.
Seems like the police have sided with the people, the Muslims here in the town.
Yeah, no they have.
And are you from Dearborn?
Dearborn Heights, we've seen it happening, and it's just it's a maximum encroachment every week to week. We're sick of it.
You're pulling over. You're hopping out of the car. You're ready to brawl with
had my
anybody.
gun. I was gonna.
Started.
Mm-hmm. He had his gun out. He was going to do it. So we'll see. We'll see. But this is what's going on, man. It's like this is why Islam is not compatible with the West.
Yeah.
Period.
Absolutely.
It's absolutely ridiculous. And then, like, again, here's teachers from Virginia. You wonder why the kids, like we just saw from those kids being interviewed by Ken Higby, is why kids are getting radicalized, because of teachers and professors like this right here.
In the moment.
Okay, listen to the 3 professors from Virginia Public Universities discussing the takedown of the United States through violence. We actually need to crash the U.S. We must stand with the armed resistance. These are your communist professors that are indoctrinating your kids. Right here. These are them.
That you grab the gun, like Fanon says, you're no longer oppressed. You're now free. How do we teach that in the class? Just to say that in the class, my students' heads explode, right? To tell them about violence, as a revolutionary tool, as sometimes a revolutionary essential.
We actually need to crash the U.S. settler state, which has incredible reverberations and literally strangles the tentacles that are reaching into the Israeli state.
So we must stand with the armed resistance and work right now to end this impunity
They
by
got their talking
disrupting the
points.
flow of weapons to Zionists. Because
Must have
trust,
went to some
the armed
communist
resistance
revolutionary
will defeat Zionism
seminar, and now they
if
got
it
their
was
talking points.
open battlefield.
Yeah, I've been humbled since October 7th, particularly being in community with folks, particularly when you're someone who has been doing this work. Why stop? This is a profound moment for us, right? And we need to dig in and go harder.
I think putting our bodies on the line sometimes to protect those who are more vulnerable, right? To eat tear gas when we should be doing that and not students. I think that's essential.
So we have to struggle to crash things here. And my students were very...
But this is the issue. This is where the Groyper following is coming from right here. It's like there's an overlap right here. With
They
the
see
left.
this. They see people like Nick Fuentes getting canceled on YouTube and stuff for posting stuff. This can get posted anywhere, and it's fine.
Yeah.
This is radical, communist, Marxist, revolutionary stuff. This is okay. Being a Groyper's not okay.
Yeah. So, but these guys are the exact same talking points. Like Nick Fuentes is a group of people, anti-Semitic, anti-Israel. But these people,
It's
left-wing
okay.
Democrats, you know, communist types, like they're anti-Israel, anti-Semitic. Like, don't matter.
Doesn't matter. And again, these are ivory tower college liberals. They don't know what violence looks like. They think that they've read about it in books and they've understood what violence is and what violence looks like. I guarantee you put any of those professors next to somebody after they get shot and they see somebody bleeding out on the ground, they're not going to be screaming "Viva la Revolution" anymore. You know what I mean? They're going to be screaming, "Help, help, where's a police officer? Somebody come save me." That's who these people are fundamentally. They're the advocates of violence. They're not the perpetuators of violence.
These are the people that will
convince
that
the
are
low
at-
IQ people to do bad things.
Yeah, these are the people who are yelling at you at these protests on the street, hit you over the head with the bike locker, throwing, you know, whatever, breaking windows. And the moment that you retaliate or the police tell you back, they go, "Help, help, I'm being oppressed."
Help, help, I'm being oppressed, I'm being oppressed. Yes, exactly. Exactly. That's who these people are. These people have never experienced violence before. They've watched it on the news, they've seen it on TV, but it's just, again, it's a foreign concept to them. The minute they're actually hurt or injured, they're going to be like, "Oh, where's the police? See, the government isn't functioning right because I got hurt. It's okay when I hurt people. It's not okay whenever it happens to me."
Then here's this video that you showed me. Just speaking of ICE, is like, look at how violently these people.
Oh, yeah, all these
protesting
people
against
should
ICE.
be arrested in this video. All these people. I mean, look at these idiots. You can kind of lower the volume on that if you want. There's nothing there, just screaming and, you know. I mean, look at these geniuses here. Super high IQ folks, man. Yeah, Viva la Revolution. These are the people that these college professors we just showed you are convincing to do this retarded stuff.
Yes.
Like, again, this would have been like OU students being like, "We'll save you, Iranian professor. We'll save you." I mean, every single one of these people who are bumping, I mean, that's assaulting a police officer.
Yeah, that is interrupting a officer.
Look at that. I mean,
in
that
the
guy is
performance of
literally
their
wrapping
duties.
his arms
Yeah.
around a police officer. That person should be locked up.
This is interfering with the police officer in their duties.
They should pepper spray the entire crowd and arrest them as they're wallowing in agony on the ground.
Yes, 100%.
And literally, if I don't even know how people could say, like, this is legal, this is justified. Bumping into police officers and attempting to stop them from doing their job is not legal. It should not be justified. You are preventing an officer from doing his job.
Yeah. Jesus. Look, they're stopping them from trying to move those plants and all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
This is insane.
Yeah, and look at these retarded women.
Said if these women had children at home, they wouldn't have time to go do stuff like this.
Mm-hmm. And if these women do have children, their children definitely hate them.
Yep. Anyway.
I mean, all these people are going home. We're heroes. We're the real heroes.
We stopped ICE. We did it.
Yep.
So I bet you they feel the exact same way that gunman did before he got killed, you know, where that shot the two illegal immigrants instead of shooting like the ICE officials.
I did something. I showed those ICE agents whose boss accidentally killed two illegal immigrants.
And And again, remember, this is common rhetoric here on the left. Check this out.
Shout out to the patriot who kirked 2 federal agents near the White House. This is exactly how we need to be dealing with violent dictatorships. Embrace our Second Amendment rights. Hopefully they'll think twice about serving this racist administration.
Yeah, I would throw him in jail and throw away the key. The left are showing us every single day that they are the party of violence. They are the party of authoritarianism. They are the actual brown shirts of our society.
Yep. Agreed. 100% agreed.
Yeah.
Like, where is the right-wing equivalent to this? It's nowhere to be seen.
You can't say Nick Fuentes because he's not accepted by anyone on the right.
Mm-hmm.
And he doesn't advocate for violence.
Yep. Which, again, this is pretty much just going to show you that it's here. It's here in Oklahoma. It's here. It's at the most popular university in the state of Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
What are we doing? We can't do any. We have to do something to fight back against this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I said transgenderism and Islam are the 2 biggest issues that we are fighting against right now. Those are the 2 biggest concerns that we need to have as a nation.
Yep.
It says transgenderism because all it is lying and confusing and trying to sexualize children.
Mm-hmm.
And then Islam because all they're doing is turning our nation into a third world country.
Yep.
That's all they do. That is all that's going to happen here. They're going to turn everything into Sharia, just like in the UK. You see what's going on in the UK? Do you think that that's good? No, it's not. That's coming here to the U.S. now.
Mm-hmm.
Said the United States was so big we didn't really see this stuff.
Well, I mean, it's like, don't you remember it was ICE or somebody or some FBI agency went and saved all those kids from that Muslim grooming camp or whatever?
Yeah.
Like there was like 2 people ran a camp where they kidnapped kids and they were either grooming them to be sexual slaves or they were grooming them to become Islamic terrorists.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, that was like a compound
Here
where
in
they
the
were
United
in the
States,
United
yeah.
States, somewhere in Texas, where they found them.
Yep, I remember that. I do remember that now. Jesus.
Crazy story. I mean, that's just one example. How many other of those do you think that we haven't found?
Yeah. I mean, that's just them growing up in their societies right now. Then here's this last one. This goes to show you this is even as close as Tulsa. Meet Vanessa Hall Harper, a Tulsa City Council member. She had an unhinged meltdown against white people and a city flag, claiming it was racist and Oklahoma and America represents the KKK. Your taxes pay her salary. She should resign. You can contact... I like that. It said she's District 1 City Council. So let's check out her unhinged rant real quick. As a humbly served at the Oaklawn mass grave site today, I was offended once again when this work oversight committee made it very clear that we did not want the Tulsa City flag draped over the remains of the massacre victims as they were being unearthed and carried to the examination lab for investigation and identification to finally receive justice. To put it in perspective, this is akin to draping a Nazi flag over the remains of a Holocaust victim as they are being carried away for proper religious burial. This city of Tulsa is responsible for the 1921 race massacre, so instead, we all used a black cloak during the transition to the lab. But today, I witnessed the reversal back to the same disrespectful, systematic crap. That more disheartened is that people of African descent involved in the investigation don't even realize how disgustingly disrespectful this is and continues to allow white racist power structure to determine how we honor and show respect for our fallen ancestors, i.e. the white man playing bagpipes when African victims' remains are being reburied. Sickening. There was one thing that the African diaspora can always bank on. It's skin folk that ain't kinfolk. Disgraceful. Honor to the ancestors. Good Lord, what is this? Yeah, this lady is crazy.
Yeah, no.
So America, again, KKK, the way. Tulsas are the racist collective altogether. I mean, why are you a member of the Tulsa City Council if you think that it's so bad? If it's this racist, why are you a member of the Tulsa City
she's
Council?
An infiltrator. She's a Marxist infiltrator. And the thing is, it's like the flag is supposed to be a unifying thing. It's like the city of Tulsa recognizes the wrongdoing it does, and it's showing that it's trying to reconcile with this community. And it's like, nope, not good enough. Nothing's ever good enough. Nothing you do will ever be able. You will never be. Again, this is anti-Christian. This is anti-forgiveness. It goes, you
holding
will always
holding
be
the son for the sins
yes,
of the father.
you will always be accountable for your father's sins. Always.
Yeah.
And we can never let go. Again, if this woman is a perfect example of if there is, you cannot forgive and forget, you will be held to, I mean, again, grief that she knows nothing about. It's like, she wasn't alive. She wasn't there.
Mm-hmm.
And she's going to hold this. She's going to hold an entire city of people who have moved into the city, people who aren't even from the city, people who are now taxpayers that moved here from everywhere all over the nation.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, you are responsible now. Your tax dollars are responsible for my feelings.
Yep.
Guys, follow Christ. Forgive and forget and move on. If there is no forgiveness, you'll never be able to move on from this. It's like, we can never forget. We can never forget. Like, yeah, you don't have to forget, but you have to forgive. Because if you don't forgive, you're going to be held hostage by your anger and hatred your entire life. This is why we have to have a return to Christianity. A return to Christ. A return to forgiveness. Endless forgiveness. Again, that way we can heal and we can move on. But these people profit off of grief, off of grievances. Off of grief that they were not alive to experience.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I feel the ancestral trauma that our ancestors felt during that event. It's like, no, you don't. Are you kidding me? You don't. It's just, again, it's literally just grievance culture. It's victim culture, and they are going to continue. As long as there's money to be made, they will continue to sell this to people in mass because there's money to be made. It's a profitable business model, grievance culture.
Yep. 100%. 100%. But we just wanted to show that we've had a couple of comments saying that they wanted us to talk about the thing that just happened with that guy being detained by ICE, which I heard one of them say that he was an American citizen. As we've just shown, he's not an American citizen. He is a foreign national here on a work visa. So that Immigration and Customs Enforcement had every right to question him about his status.
Yep. And again, it could be as simple as someone got the dates wrong on a piece of paper and they were checking it with him.
Yep. Does it suck that he had to get detained and locked up in jail? Sure. But guess what? He's not an American citizen. He does not have the rights that we do.
Better safe than sorry.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And if he did overstay his visa, time to go.
Yeah. Time to go.
Somebody else can take that job.
There is, if any department that doesn't need to be there, it's freaking foreign relations thing, because the only people that's going to help are people trying to become politicians, and we don't need that many politicians.
Nope. That's true.
Mm-hmm. We have too many people that want to be politicians and Instagram influencers and all that.
Yeah.
We need some people that actually need to do laborious work.
Yep.
That's what we need. We need a callback to like making jobs that actually need to be needed, like plumbing, farming, all the jobs that actually require like hard physical labor. That's what we need to make great again, is laborious jobs great again.
Yes, guys, AI is going to take away all the stuff. I mean, teachers will become a thing of the past. AI can teach you. YouTube can teach you more about history than a professor can now.
Yeah. Oh, well, 100%.
Now, like I said, you can go down some dark rabbit holes and get a very one-sided history lesson, but I mean, that seems to be what's going on in colleges too. Again, this lady in the Tulsa race riot, do you think she cares about the brave sheriff that would refuse to let the mob take the guy that was allegedly accused of raping the lady in the elevator?
Yeah.
Nobody talks about him. Yeah. Like, the black community's not going to talk about it. It's like, he was brave enough to stand up to a crowd of angry white people, like, he raped her lady and we're going to get him. Yeah. We're going to lynch him right here. And he was like, no, not on my watch.
The sheriff of the Tulsa County Sheriff's Department
is one of the heroes of the story.
It was his Wyatt Earp moment. He's like, it was literally like, you are welcome to try to take him, but I'm taking, like, I think he had a revolver. I'm taking 6 of you with me. So who's who's coming at me?
Yeah, which 6 is going to be the bravest? You know what I mean?
Exactly. Is it still tragedy that that the whole
city burned,
like Greenwood got completely burned down? Yes, that is a tragedy. But again, there was, there's nothing that we can do about that now. It's the past. The past is the past. Again, you can't hold people accountable for stuff that they didn't do. And again, like, everybody who was a part of that is dead now.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, my grandpa was barely a teenager when that happened.
Yeah,
my grandpa. Like, that's crazy to think about.
Yeah, yeah, that is insane. Yeah, just like
I don't even think he was a teenager. He might have just been born.
Been a child. Yeah, he still would have been a child.
Yeah, maybe a baby. My grandpa was a baby. So all these people going, my ancestral claim to this, like my grandma was there. It's like, okay, your grandma was there. So, do you feel the flames of your grandmother's burned house or something? What are you talking about here? It's like, I get it. It sucked.
Yep.
But I mean, again, forgive and forget. We got to move on. You got to get past this. You cannot say that you all were not going to be millionaires. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the thought in everyone's head. It's like, we'd all be millionaires. We'd have, we'd be living fancy houses. We'd be the rich people. It's like, are you sure about that?
Mm-hmm.
You can never know. So again, I don't know, man. It's just, we have to return to Christ. We have to return to forgiveness. And again, there's too much money to be made in this victimhood culture.
Yep, 100%. But that's pretty much all we've got for today. So
Yeah.
You got anything else?
No, that's it, man. So this is the Twins with Owasso Live. This is the Morning Loop. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe so you too can stay in the loop. But that's all we've got for you today. God bless you.
See you later, everybody.
Was kicked out of Mecca around 622 AD, and he goes to Medina, which was a Jewish city, and the Jews let him in as a Muslim immigrant. He goes into the minority neighborhoods, begins to get a following. His following grows. He gets involved in politics, and he insists that the Jews make a treaty with him. Now he's a political leader. And then he allows his followers to rob caravans headed back to Mecca, and he becomes a military leader. And so within 5 years of Muhammad coming into the Jewish city of Medina, there's not a Jew left in the city of Medina. They were chased out, killed, or enslaved. And so it's a three-step process. Come in as an immigrant, go into minority neighborhoods and build a political following and get involved in politics. And then you have random outbreaks of violence that drive out the previous inhabitants of the neighborhood, and they take over neighborhood by neighborhood, city by city, country by country. There's a 1,400-year track record to watch this happening. I put it in a book called What Every American Needs to Know About the Quran, A History of Islam in the United States. So crime going up is their goal. Why? Because if crime goes up in the big city, pro-family people and pro-small business people leave. Well, they're a higher percentage Republican. Who's left in the city? More people on welfare. They're a higher percentage Democrat. And so when crime goes up, the Democrats get a monopoly on city politics. And in election years, whoever wins the big city wins the state. Whoever wins the state gets all the electoral votes. President's elected by electoral votes. So this is their goal. They want to go into the cities and have crime go up so that the Republicans leave. If they win that big city, they win the whole state, and then they can take the country. Muhammad was kicked out of Mecca around 622 AD, and he goes to Medina, which was a Jewish city,